so good. Ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. So good. So nice. Ah, so good. So nice. So guys, I'm feeling so good today. Like I'm feeling like the Kenny I used to know. I'm feeling so confident. I'm feeling so satisfied. Yeah, like the Kenny I used to know. That's a Ken for you. So, no, we talked about last week. We talked about your what you eat pertaining to the body, and we promised we're going to talk about your what you eat pertaining to the soul aspect. And most of you would actually be wondering, oh, why only you? Where's your partner? Yes, yes, yes. My partner is really fine, but she's a little bit under the weather today. And you know that the weather has been, somehow chilled and everything. But I'm sure she's going to make it up to you. 100% sure. I know my partner. She's really going to make it up to you. So we want to talk about your what you eat pertaining to soul. And when we talk about the soul, we want to talk about the emotion aspect and the mind aspect of the soul. So that was why I was telling you I'm feeling good. And I felt good today because of something. I had my favorite dish. Yes, you heard me. I had my favorite dish, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but trust me, I had my favorite dish today. So I feel so good. I feel so good. I know someone out there will be eating his or her favorite food. I'll be like, why am I not feeling so giddy? Why am I feeling the way you are feeling? Oh, I have my own reasons. So, and it's really not my fault I'm feeling this way. Like I'm overjoyed, like over happy. It is really not my fault. It's because of some hormones that are actually working in me. Yeah, for every activities in your body, there are some hormones responsible for it. Yeah, and the hormones responsible for the happy mood is what we call the dopamine. You heard it right. The dopamine, the oxytocin, and the serotonin are responsible for the happy mood. So the hormones are doing something right now, and they're making me so happy. Yeah, and it's not because it's as a result of something. I had something I like. So when you're seeing somebody so happy, and you add of a case, and you both are happy, but she or he is really more excited than the other. Trust me, it's not his fault. It is actually the hormones at work, so it's actually not his fault. So it is not my fault. Oh, it's this dopamine. Oh, it's this dopamine that actually they're working in me. So let's talk about the whole one bear. Let me give you an illustration about the whole one bear. So imagine going to a party. You're actually looking all glammed up, looking no set, looking pengy, now. And then you got to the party, and you really do not know the person that is celebrating, but you are invited by a friend. And then you got to the party, and it happens to be that friend too was invited by a friend. Imagine. So, and this party is just like they're actually transferring food. Like they're serving food based on, if I know you, I will give you food. If I don't know you, then I don't know you. So you looked all glammed up, and then there's no food to eat. Tell me, how would you feel? With all those high heels though, no matter how touch you are, you have to be very practical. Now, how would you feel? Yeah, you feel very angry, you feel upset. So though you might not want to show it, like, oh, I'm a big girl, I don't want them to say, oh, it's because of food that I'm feeling this way, but you know that it's because of food. It's because of you haven't eaten, especially if you haven't eaten that day. That's even worse. So there's some hormones responsible for that. That is what we call that the adrenaline hormone. You heard me right. Yeah, you talking about the mind aspect. You already know that you're going to a party and you must eat, and then you got to the party, you did not eat, and then the emotions took over. You become angry, you become upset, you become frustrated. That is what food can do to you. That's what food can do to you pertaining to the soul. And after that, let's talk about the mental aspect now. Probably you watching me right now, you have a child that is not doing well academically, and you are really trying your best to not let this child come up, but this child is not really coming up. Why don't you check the diet? maybe you've not really thought about the diet. It's time to think about the diet. Why don't you do something about the diet? There's what we call glucose. Most of the carbs that we eat, the carbohydrate that we eat, synthesized into glucose. Like the language that the body understands is what we call the glucose. The glucose is like the fuel of the brain. It fuels the brain. It makes the brain work faster. Like make the brain works, it works very well. So why don't you really think about the glucose? Why don't you think about the diet? Glucose is like it's like sugar. It's a simple sugar in the body. It makes the body works very well. Yeah, it's what we call insulin in the body. It transfers the glucose in your bloodstream and transfer it to the cell and takes it to other parts of the body where it is used as what? Energy. So the body, the brain needs energy. Probably you're a student out there, you're not assimilating faster. You're a banker out there, you're counting and you're just miscounting and something is just going on. Why don't you look at your diet? Most of you don't even eat breakfast. Breakfast means you actually break your fast. That is, you're fasting throughout the night, and in the morning you got to take something. You got to take your glucose. It's not really glucose. You got to get your food. Your food will give you energy. Though we don't expect you who are working in the bank to eat the same as a mechanic or you eat the same food as a bricklayer. Your input should be equal to your output. When you eat the same as a bricklayer, that's why we become fat, because the body has seen the amount of energy it needs, and it starts storing as fat. That's it. Glucose level. So if you are a parent right now, student right now, anything that you're studying academically, food might be the reason why you're really struggling. So please just check your diet. And I want to just emphasize about the importance of food. I've seen a situation whereby a child went abroad, like the whole family went abroad, and then they got to this place, and the child is doing well academically in Nigeria, but this child went abroad and things just begin to fall apart. And the teachers there noticed that this child is brilliant, but between few weeks, things started, to just. So they begin to ask the child what is wrong, and then this child came to say, I miss my food. I'm not eating the kind of food I want. This place, they're just giving me leaves. Like, I need my food. That's the importance of food. Like, just the importance of food. The white, they have to just calm down and say, yeah, we think this child needs the food. So they made sure that the food was just available for the child. Let's talk about religious. Let's talk about Christian. When we're talking about Holy Communion, they believe, when Christians eat Holy Communion, they believe, this food draws us closer to God. This food makes us feel, God is inside me, things like that. They feel good, they feel holy, they feel sanctified, and they know they must not sin after eating this Holy Communion. Let's talk about the Muslim aspect. They don't even eat pork, they don't eat dogs, and some other kind of thing. That is to tell you that food makes up a community. Food fosters friendship. Food brings about socialization. Food brings about harmony. That is to tell you what food really does. And now we've talked about what food really does and this and that. We've hyped food. Yeah, it needs to be hyped. But really, what about fasting? Does that ring a bell? I know some people cannot fast to save their life. Yes. Well, we've overemphasized about food. We talked about the breakfast and everything. But tell me, what about fasting? What about fasting? Does fasting kill? Some people will be like, if I fast, I will just die. So you have to tell your neighbor to watch our next episode. Does fasting kill? What is the benefit? Is it harmful? Like, is fasting harmful to my health? Is it harmful to, is it good to my health? And I want to tell you that the answer is yes or no. It is good and it's not good. Yeah. So you really need to watch our next episode. You really need to watch it, and you have to subscribe to all our YouTube channels. You have to just follow us on all our social media platforms. Tell someone to tell someone. You can save a life. You can help a destiny. One word from you, one post from you can actually save someone out there. So we'll meet, and I'm going to be with my partner. We'll meet next episode. So thank you. See ya. I love y'all.
Food Doctors.